Hello, welcome back, everyone. For those waiting, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or anything for this lovely human being, yes, I got the direction right this time.
I always mess that up.
Please leave them in the comments. But until you do, and until you flood us with all your particular and very pointed queries, I would like to welcome you all to the Plot Mom Stop in the Escapist tour for Divinity Twilight Rebirth by the amazing Christopher Russell. Today, we're doing something very special.
Very special indeed.
Yes.
Lots of plotting.
Actually, I mean, that's mostly behind me. But what we are doing today is not a normal author interview. I've already had Chris on this channel multiple times. We know each other really well. There's in fact very little about his author career that I don't have my hands in. So instead of interviewing Chris, we're going to be interviewing his characters. And boy, let me tell you, these are some juicy characters. I've been reading this book and I've already gotten a glimpse of book 2, so I know where the story is going. And they are delightful. The 4 characters in particular that we are going to dig our teeth into are Vallen, our golden child disaster, protagonist, maybe, utter trash fire, definitely.
Yeah, not even an anti-hero, sort of an anti himself, anti everyone.
Yes. Then we're also going to be talking to Celeste, the capable person in the book, in fact possibly the only capable person, at least on the team of cadets who make up the main cast. Mateo, who would be capable if he stopped being a cinnamon roll for 2 seconds and actually grew a backbone. And then of course everyone's favorite character, dark evil overlord Sarkon, who steals the show every single time he gets onto the page.
Hashtag seems Team Sarkon, hashtag Sarkon for president.
Exactly. So we are going to go through some questions for each of these characters. And if you have any questions from the audience, we'll get to those kind of in between. But before we do any of that, Chris, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you, but the rest of the world.
So I'm Christopher Russell. I'm the author of the Divinity's Twilight series. First book is Divinity's Twilight Rebirth, which is the tour that we're doing now, and the sequel, Divinity's Twilight Remnant, that Allegra's actually done a little bit of the work formatting the cover for. Don't have it on a book yet, but you'll be able to see it on my website, different places. It's going to be on September 14th, which is actually my birthday, so September's a big month.
Very excited.
And this is sort of a steampunk fantasy. I like to call it a cross between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. So Lord of the Rings, a bunch of different races, and then Star Wars, I have a bit of an engineering background. We get airships, we get magic based on the energy that crystals give off. We get these huge engagements between different airship fleets. And then, of course, like Allegra was mentioning, we have these crazy, kooky characters, sort of like a snarky Guardians of the Galaxy kind of crew. And they have to learn how to get along and survive while on the run from a big empire. An empire that's after them because of that big bad Sarkon character that we were talking about. And we'll get more into that later. The hero of
the story.
Yes, the true hero of the story. He's actually the first part of Divinity's Twilight that existed, and I had to write a group of protagonists for him to go up against.
That's a fascinating way to go about it. I kind of like villain first, but really you got it wrong. Because what you should have done is written it entirely from Sarkon's point of view. And it was basically the epic fantasy equivalent of Get Off My Lawn.
That'll be another project.
Exactly.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think we already have something like that in the works.
Maybe just a little bit. So I think we should jump right in. And the first person I really want to talk to is Trashfire Vallen.
Oh, let me go see if I can grab him.
Thank you.
Why do you need me again? There's something better I could be doing right now, right?
Actually, no, you're pretty much incapable of actually moving the plot on your own, so you're good right here.
I'm just going to glower at that.
Well, glower away, but while you're glowering, let's see if you can answer some questions so we get to know you better. How does it feel to fail at being the chosen one?
You're saying that I failed? It's not my fault. I have all these other losers bringing me down. I'm so gifted. I'm the Triaran. I have all these different elemental abilities. I've won every single match of Flag Brawl that I played in.
Except the one that matters.
That one didn't matter. The graduate, it got cut short. They canceled it. What are you
Uh-huh.
talking about? But no. Let's look at Mateo. Little cinnamon roll Mateo, as you put it, got put on my team, and the first thing he does is he accidentally shoots me in the back while I'm trying to win the match. I still went on to win, but he shot me in the back. So I tell him not to do anything, and then he still manages to screw up. Vel is a little. She can support me. She's able to put up these glyphs, able to get me around the field, and then Leon, my good friend Leon, he smoothed over a lot of corners with me, with my teachers, with different people. Leon's cool, but Mateo and then all these other students, everybody on the other teams, they're the ones that drag me down. They're the reason that we lose any battles that we do.
I see. So that if you actually went up against the villains of the story alone, you would obviously win, right?
Of course, obviously.
Excellent. Obviously, excellent. I'm so
Nothing opposed to that has happened.
I believe you. Listen, I believe you. I take you at your word. This interview isn't to judge. So I've been looking into your history a little bit, and I know you grew up in Sewer Town, right? What's the weirdest thing you've ever found in the trash?
So first off, wherever you heard that rumor, that it is true, but I don't really like to talk about that. So we're going to get over this subject really quickly, if you don't mind. What's the weirdest thing I found in the trash? Well, I don't think there's anything weird down there. There's of course your usual, your feces, your ordure, your cast-offs. There's jewelry that got lost down, the drain from up in the mare, the city above. There are fingers. There's little bits and pieces of human beings, whatever the rats don't pick over. There's combs. There's bits of food, bits of hair. Hair gets in everything. It's really strange.
It really does.
You have to pick that out. Yes. But if you can imagine, and I probably found it down there. Not saying that's still a part of my life or anything.
Of course not. You've risen above your humble origins, like most chosen ones. The higher you climb, however, the further you have to fall back down to your roots.
Well, if we want to talk about that whole chosen one bit for right now, well, everybody at the academy seems to be on my back about that. Major Reeve thinks that I should be this amazing person that's a symbol to the nation, and I'm not about that at all. You said that I've come from Sewer Town, and I had an awful childhood, and I really don't want to deal with any of that. There was a lot of responsibility. There were people that I had to take care of back then, and now it's just all about me. That I should be allowed to live life the way I want to. Why are they putting these big responsibilities on my back? That Darmatus guy, the first Triaran, he might have been a chosen one. I'm not him. I don't have to do that.
It is true. You are not him. It's very evident that you are not him.
Hey, and this guy in the chat, JP Burnison, stop judging. Get back to writing.
So I noticed that you have that staff there, and I know it's a very, very powerful weapon. It can change form as you command it to. So I'm going to play a game with you. I'm going to name an enemy, and then you're going to tell me what weapon you'd use to kill it.
I could kill an enemy with any weapon. I could kill them with a stick.
Well, yes, but what would you turn your stick into to dispatch them with the most pizzazz and speed?
All right, flair. I got it. Right. I like flair.
Yes, you do like flair. So let's start easy. A wolf.
A wolf. Okay, so I'm all about close combat. And a wolf is going to be able to lunge at you. It's going to be able to come on from the front. And I'm not big into tactics. I just like to take things out. But for a wolf, if I'm going to use magic with it, I'm going to use a staff, and I'm going to blow it away with a gust of wind and then close the distance.
All right.
That's my first step. Yep.
So, enemy number 2. Let's just say an ice mage, like Major Reeve.
An ice mage like Major Reeve. Well, first off, I'm really good with fire. I could defeat her easily. There's no way that I'm losing that match. 99.9 times out of 100, I'm going to win that match. And the last one would be some sort of weird fluke where I trip myself up. But for the sake of humoring you and going through with this, I'm going to use a sword. I'm going to use Kranesh just like this. This is my favorite one. I'm going to use a Kranesh blade, nice and curved.
Very nice.
And I'm going to douse it in fire. And I'm going to send giant sweeps of flame at her. She's going to have to deal with that. I'm going to set all the surroundings on fire. And then close with her with a gale of fire at my front, piercing through, and take her out.
Excellent. Sounds like
Now, if I was to write about this scene, it would be a lot more eloquent than everything I'm just saying.
Naturally.
I'd have more time to think. Yes.
Yes. All right. Let's try for something a little bit more far-fetched. A 10-foot long venomous banana slug.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't laugh. 10-foot long venomous banana slug. Now, where are you going to get one of those? Is that something like the Mojave Atoll? Is this in the tropics?
Yeah, it's
so this is way down south. Okay. All right. So saying I come across one of these, it's a banana slug. And bananas, they get gooey really easily. We've talked about the waste. We've talked about rot. You take a banana down to Sewer Town, it's not going to last long. So we're going to turn up the heat. Like I said before, we're going to start with fire. And we're going to need a way to spread that. So maybe gauntlets or something like that and punch fireballs at it. And then once the heat's turned up, then we're going to freeze it. And so in order to freeze it, maybe something like a scythe, something that I can get a lot of reach out of. And just send the blizzard of cold air down it from above. And then we'll shatter it after that. So heat, then ice, then shatter it. And maybe some lightning in there too. That does well.
Just for pizzazz.
Just for pizzazz.
All right. Second to last. Mateo, but with super strength.
You mean Professor Nightlight?
Yes.
So for all of those who don't know, Mateo, I don't know why the Academy staff ever put me with Mateo. But this kid can't sleep at night without a nightlight. He has to turn on the bathroom light in our apartment. He has to plug something into the outlet. He'll leave the bloody overhead light on at night and just blind us all. How did he not get out of this as he was growing up? This is basic kid stuff. Okay. But anyway, okay. Mateo, I will go with the staff again. I just blow some air in his direction. He'd scream and run the other way.
That's a
not
very
that hard.
Valid, very, very.
Oh wait, but you said there was some sort of modification, but it's still Mateo.
Oh yes, he has super strength, but I would agree
he's still going to run away.
Yes, he would. Okay, final
0 plus
question.
0 is still 0.
Yes. All right. An army of rabid rubber ducks.
Army of rabid rubber ducks.
Yes.
First off, what is a rubber duck? Can you explain this concept to me?
Well, it looks like a duck, but it's an inanimate object. But in this case, it's been animated by a sorcerer and has rabies. So if any of them bite you or cluck at you or break skin in any way, you're pretty much done for.
So one time, we have these stop motion pictures that we can watch at the Academy. Maybe one day they'll be able to keep them going into some sort of like film or movie. I don't know what they would call it at that point. But there was this one that we watched. It was called Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And they had a scene where they talked about that a witch weighs the same amount as a duck. And ducks float in water. And since ducks are aquatic creatures, I'm going to use lightning. So, as the army of ducks comes toward me, I'm going to coat the floor in water. And then, once they're waddling around and quacking and doing whatever else ducks do, I'm going to shock them all to death. I'm just going to stab my Kranesh blade straight into the middle of the water and shock them all. And that's how we're going to deal with this.
And you will be victorious.
Then I'm going to collect the roast duck. Because again, I'm from Sewer Town. We're not going to waste anything. We're getting that meal. We're getting that duck meat.
Yes. So you're going to sit in the battlefield and surrounded by corpses and eat some duck.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Sounds
and
like
and then whatever we have left over, we'll just preserve it with ice magic and take it back. Waste not, want not.
Sounds like a party. Well, thank you very much, Vallen, for joining us. I'd like to talk to your arch rival, very recent arch rival, a lovely fair-haired lady called Celeste. Could you call her over?
You really want that girl? You really want the Ice Princess?
Yeah,
you do know what you're getting into, yes?
Yes. I'm going to have a conversation.
That girl has no chill.
Well, you just
But
called her the Ice Princess, so I'm assuming she does actually have some chill.
well, I'll go get her.
Yeah, you do that.
Hey, Celeste! She wants you in here. I don't know why. Stop calling me an imbecile. Fine.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Why, hello, Celeste. Beautiful hair you have.
It's so difficult to fix some days.
It
I'm
really
having such
is.
trouble with it. Maybe
Well,
one of these
I think
days
you
I'll
look
just cut
lovely.
it all off.
You know, it probably would be more advantageous as a soldier to have shorter hair, but I understand. Sometimes you just have to have some pretty things in life. Thank you very much for joining us. It's lovely to have a conversation with someone who isn't Vallen.
Well, that imbecile does not have a very good command of vocabulary.
You know, I have heard better. But I have some questions for you, and I've been dying to know them.
Oh,
So,
dying.
yes,
That
in
happens
fact,
a lot.
it does happen a lot. In fact, the first one is about how most people die around you, which is with a knife in them somewhere. You can conjure knives, which is like, as far as powers go, pretty cool. And obviously there are many, many uses in combat, and we've seen a lot of them in your adventures. But what are some unexpected uses for that power outside of combat?
Well, the one that comes immediately to mind is cooking. You can conjure a knife, you can use it. I can actually control them to cut vegetables without even touching the blades.
Great for prep work.
Yes. Outside of that, yeah, you make great steps. If you want to get up to someplace very high, you just conjure a couple pads of knives and you walk all the way up. Let's see, what else is there? Obviously breaking and entering. Sometimes you have to do that when you're on the run. I'm not saying that I'm on the run from anyone, but if you need to get into a building, maybe borrow some things. I hear that there's somebody in your universe that rather likes to borrow things. Well,
There is in fact
yes.
someone, yes.
Mhm.
All right. So you are a transplant into Dalmatia. I can tell by your accent, of course. What's the strangest Dalmatian custom you've encountered since coming here?
They have this really weird way of burying their dead. They don't actually bury them. Well, where I'm from, the Raban Imperium. Why would I ever be from anywhere else other than the Raban Imperium?
Naturally.
We go through a ceremony, we put them in a casket, and we bury our dead in the ground. We like to go and remember them. Well, the Dalmatians, they're a little bit savage. They burn the bodies, and then get this. They take some of the ashes and they mix it with a paste, and they eat it. They think it brings them closer to the dead.
Very
What's with that?
strange. It is kind of barbaric. I must agree. I mean, although I'm sure you can bake it into something delicious.
Mr. Burnison, I am not on the run from anything. Do read my story, then come back and talk to me.
Definitely not on the run. So I have a question for you. It's a game that a lot of people play. You may have missed it growing up very serious the way you have. But it's called Kiss, Marry, Kill. And I'm going to give you 3 names, and I need you to decide who you would kiss, who you would marry, and who you would kill. Are you ready?
If any of them is Vallen, I'm going to kill him.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact.
Actually, I don't even know anyone named Vallen. I just know this imbecile.
So, I feel like this is, something that, but you probably won't encounter this, so it's all theoretical. So the 3 people are Vallen, Renar, and Sarkon.
Sarkon? He's dead. He's been dead 700 years.
Imagine that he's come back as a reanimated corpse.
Is it an attractive corpse?
Not particularly.
So let me get this straight. My choices are the imbecile Vallen,
Yes.
who I trounced in the graduation match, who doesn't have a brain cell between his 2 ears, Raynar, who somehow got an even worse grade on his written exam when
Yes.
Vallen didn't fill out the exam,
Yes,
and then a corpse.
correct.
And you want me to play this game?
Yes, I do.
You know who I am, don't wait, nope. I'm no one special, no one special.
You're no one special, so we're just gonna play this game and find out a little bit more about you.
All right. Kill.
No, that's not an option. Kiss one,
Really?
marry one, kill one.
And I have to choose.
And you have to choose.
If I marry someone, am I expected to kiss them?
No.
Or do anything else that would normally involve...
No.
Okay.
You just have to live with them every day for the rest of your life.
Okay. Sarkon was a great leader. He made the Sarkonian Empire that I'm absolutely not affiliated with an amazing world power. There's lots of history books written about him. Everyone said that before he became very corpsey, wrinkly, and disintegrate, that he was very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, just to get it over with, we are going to kiss Raynar.
All right.
On the hand. Maybe the pinky.
Nope.
I think I could do
right
it.
on the lips.
Right on the lips. I'll suck it up. Nope. I'm not nothing like that. Nope. I can do it though. I can do it. I'm gonna marry Sarkon. I can put up with being married to a very powerful corpse.
Yeah.
That's possible. And then I'm gonna kill Vallen.
That seems
stake through the heart,
reasonable.
many times over. Daggers through the head, daggers through the chest, daggers through the loins, everything.
My next question was going to be, how would you kill Vallen? Because I just assumed that he'd be the one you would kill. So thank you for answering.
Very messily.
Very messily. Excellent. And for the answer to lovely author J.P. Bernison, why does the woman have to play Kiss, Marry, Kill, and the dude play How to Kill Things with Pizzazz? It's because I know how Celeste kills with pizzazz. She always kills with pizzazz. She's actually capable.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Bernison, this is a woman's world. I'm going to be in charge by the end of all this. I can assure you.
Basically in charge since the first time you show up. Mm-hmm. I'd say you are the.
This is my book right here,
exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
And of course, the picture might be better than what we're coming through at the camera right now. But...
No, I think your hair is just perfect today. Well,
it's very luscious. My mother loved my hair.
I see. Yes. Well, as she should have. It's glorious. And I'm very, very glad to have met you. It's nice to talk to a voice of reason, but I do actually need to talk to someone else, and it is your soon-to-be, by your own admission, spouse, Sarkon. So could you call him over, please?
What? Sarkon's around? Oh! This is one of those seance things. You guys are supernatural. I don't really believe in that stuff, but I'll do my best.
Call him, and we'll see if his spirit shows up.
Hey, consumer of life, destroyer of worlds.
I'm sure something will turn up. An answer, why are they always called destroyer of worlds? Well, I mean, what else are you going to do on a weekend? Consuming, destroying. Worlds are tasty. Nom, nom, nom. I mean, we've already talked about roast duck. What's the difference between a roast duck and a roasted world? Oh, hello. Looks like we have a visitor.
Hello, my dear. Why have you summoned me?
Well, I've summoned you, first of all, because I'm a huge fan. Like, you are clearly the most competent and powerful character in your world, and all should bow before you.
Absolutely. Of course, it's not only about the bowing and the kowtowing and the subservience. It's more about what I want to do after that. I'm a man with a plan.
Cool.
Everybody should submit to my power, and then we'll have peace. The world will be in harmony. We'll be able to do such great things when everybody puts aside their swords and just realizes that I should be in charge, that I should be the one that's telling them how to use their economies, how to control their governments, everything like that. It's really quite simple.
So, tell me, how old were you when you decided to be a supervillain?
What is this concept of a supervillain? I'm the hero. I'm the one that's going to save the day. Haven't you heard hashtag Team Sarkon? Hashtag Sarkon for president?
Well, I was actually going to ask you about that next. It seems like you are aware of the hashtag Team Sarkon.
We have a whole grassroots movement going on.
So yes, this grassroots movement for Team Sarkon and Sarkon for president, which, by the way, I mean, I'm voting for you, obviously, like, no questions asked. Can you tell me in a sentence or two why you are better than your great descendant, who is currently ruling Sarkonia, named after you?
Psychon, not attaching any stupid title like emperor to it. That's trivial. Psychon has his uses. He's a bureaucrat. He's a good stand-in. He sits on a throne well. But he doesn't have foresight, let's say. He wants to rule, but he doesn't realize that you have to make sacrifices to do that. That if you want to rule the world, you're going to have to break a few eggs. And by eggs, I mean countries, people, potential genocide. Not genocide. Let's just we'll use a nicer term. Paving the way for a better tomorrow. And magic is the crux of that. And the best place to get magic is from people's blood. And unfortunately, they shouldn't have just been filled with so much ooey gooey good blood. It's just the way of things.
Product design error.
I know.
So, you know, obviously you are at present a rotting corpse. I know that there's some plans for other bodies, but at present you're a rotting corpse. Can you tell me what your beauty regimen is to keep your decaying flesh so radiant?
Well, while I was imprisoned in a giant Elysium crystal, there was a little bit of liquid in there, and I had no place else to stew, so I just stewed in it like a chunky piece of meat in some goulash. And then that sort of soaks into your skin. It gets under there, moisturizes really well. Lovely. And then you use the screams of the tortured. I eventually took over my jailer's minds, and their wails made me feel better. They made me feel alive, gave me a little bit of that radiant glow to my cheeks. And when I would get them to come over, they couldn't break inside the Elysium, but I could imagine that by manipulating their hands and things, that they were combing my long, luscious locks, my blonde hair. But outside of that, it was a lot of me time, a lot of focusing on the important things, just turning inward and doing some self-reflection. Not so much focusing on my outward appearance, because your insides have to be beautiful before you can make your outsides beautiful.
So true. So important. Well, what can I say, Sarkon? I don't want to take up more of your very busy time, but it's been an honor to meet the next president of the entire world. I would gladly become a corpse as part of paving the way for a better tomorrow for you.
Well, thank you. If only everybody had that kind of dedication to the cause. Remember, everyone, Sarkon 2024, all the other options don't matter.
Because they'll be dead.
They'll be dead.
Can you please get Mateo for me? I feel like I need to end this on a bit of more cinnamony taste.
Who is this Mateo cockroach of which you speak?
Oh, he's very, very sweet. He's not at all a threat to you, ever. And you should absolutely ignore his existence after today.
Well, considering that you've been such a good host and that you're part of my campaign run, I'll consider that request. I'll take it under advisement.
Thank you very much.
Cinnamon roll!
I don't know about you guys, but I think that the world will be a better place with Sarkon as our fearless leader. And if you don't agree with me, well, Sarkon will probably feast on your blood. So we win either way. But, you know, that's how politics usually work, right? I think he's here now. Our last.
Let me check. Let me check the camera. Let me make sure everything's working all right. Am I in the picture? Is everything working?
You are in the picture. Thank you very much, Mateo, for joining us. I know that it was very hard you to walk through Celeste and Vallen and Sarkon, and I'm sure that you're feeling a little shaky right now. So just take a breath with me. You're in your safe space here.
Okay.
No one can hurt you.
I think I can do this.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me on, Allegra.
Well, you're quite welcome. Ignore this camera behind me. You're definitely not on the air live.
Okay. There's nobody else. It's just the two of us.
Nobody else.
I wouldn't want any secrets like this getting out to the general public.
No,
I mean, I heard Vallen talking about something like a nightlight. I assure you that's not true. I do not sleep with a nightlight. That stupid nickname of his? Yes, that was just some weird nickname. He's going to stop. He's told me he's going to stop. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Okay.
Like, in a year or 10.
Well, hopefully we're graduate. Hopefully he doesn't do anything stupid as fail our exam and force us all to repeat a year.
That is not like Valid at all. I'm sure that won't happen.
No, he's the Triaran. He can do this. I believe him. Even if he doesn't believe in me, I still have faith that he can do it.
Well, I'm glad one of us does. So, Mateo, what's your favorite piece of historical trivia about Dalmatia?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them. So everyone talks about the hero King Darmatus, that he's the great guy that won the Battle of Harmuth, that saved us all from the Oblivion Well that was going to destroy all life on Lazaria. But he's only the tip of the iceberg. Well, there's plenty of kings that came after him. There is the King Venat Causeway, which is the great aqueduct that brings water into our great canal city, and all the architectural wonders that he made. And then his son, King Hecate. I might be just making that up, because I might not have my own lore memorized. But I'll get back to you on that. But no, there was lots of people that did great things for Dalmatia. There's the founding of the academy that occurred. There is Gerjunia Hallsroof, one of our great former alumni of the academy, that came up with 10 schools of magic, the different classifications that I'm just fascinated by. I love to study them. We have light magic, dark magic, we have blood magic, we have oaths and pacts, we have degenerative, regenerative. There was a corpse that shambled by me. It was a little creepy. Was somebody using degenerative magic? Or was that necromantic?
You're good. Remember, you're in your safe space?
Okay, I'm in my safe space. I did not see that corpse.
You did not see that corpse.
I do not have to have nightmares about that tonight, yes?
You will if you don't have a nightlight.
But I don't use a nightlight.
Maybe we had make an exception once. Just try it out tonight, just because you did possibly see. You thought you saw a corpse.
I thought I saw a corpse.
Yeah, you didn't actually see a corpse.
One nightlight. Could I have a second one across the room? Because there's this big shadow over there.
Yeah, you want to make sure, like, this is a special occasion.
Okay, all right. Do we have fairies, JP? I don't know. How would you describe a fairy?
Well, the opposite of Unter.
The opposite of Unter, so like really tiny.
Really tiny. Maybe with wings.
We have a race called Trilith. They're insectoid, and they live in the Badlands, and they're able to make they have a hive community, and they're able to make these great ziggurat-like structures that they live in out of wax, and they do a lot of silken trade goods. So they don't sound exactly like fairies. Yours sound a little bit disorganized, a little more whimsical.
So I have a question for you. Vallen, quite wrongfully, of course, insultingly calls you a professor. But if you were actually a professor, what detention would you assign Vallen to punish his constant torment? And of course, that he'll never know it was you.
Oh, I was about to ask that question. I'm a little afraid of Vallen's reprisals.
Remember, just you and me. This is our safe space. No one No one else can see this.
Let me take an extra breath just to make sure. Okay. How much detention? Well, he has a lot that he needs to make up. Honestly, I'm surprised the boy is literate. I've heard some rumors, some distressing rumors that he grew up in Sewer Town, and he acts like it between you and me. Like, this doesn't get out, right?
Never.
Okay. So I would have him relearn the Dalmatian language from the ground up, have to go through and do his addition, subtraction, his times tables. There's a lot of fundamentals. He didn't even write his name on the exam. I'm honestly unsure if he knows how to write his name. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done on that one.
Sounds like it. I'm really, I'm sad that it probably will never happen. But maybe in the future, maybe one can hope.
If Major Reeves can get her hooks into him, because she seems to be about the only person that he's afraid of. Even if he tells you he's not, even if he tells you he can beat her, she's gonna kick his butt.
I would agree with that. She is, in fact, a very capable instructor. So, I have a last question for you. And this is very important because obviously you'd never actually end up in a war. Like you are meant for intelligence or something more academic, not on the front line.
Well, the reason that I'm a cadet in the first place is I want to be like my heroes, but they did very heroic things. They faced down death, monsters. They beat Sarkon, for crying out loud, which looked kind of like the corpse that you said I didn't see.
You definitely didn't see it. It's just your imagination.
Okay. But no, I don't want to get involved. I just want to go to some posting in the middle of nowhere. I want to do my 9 to 5 working at a desk. And then I want to take a pension at the end and say that I was in the army, that I can tell people stories about the great things I did. They don't need to know the truth.
Absolutely. So assume that for a moment that the army decided that they wanted to give you further education and they sent you to grad school on them. What would your thesis be?
What would my thesis be? Oh, well, I really like studying magic. I'm a sensor mage. I'm able to see magic that's inside people and determine its quality and things like that. But I can only do it under, it's only us two, right?
Yes.
Under specific circumstances. I have to be standing still and close my eyes. That's one of the reasons Vallen doesn't think I'm very useful. That there's a lot of conditions that I have to satisfy to do anything. But my thesis, I'd probably do it on looking at the different quality of magic and in people and animals, different things like that, and comparing it to different mystical beasts that we have and seeing what similarities and differences there are and how we could possibly alter the quality of magic in order to make one type of thing more like another. I think that there's a lot more evolutionary closeness. Again, this is a very religious world, but we don't discount that. So the veneer that gave rise to each of the different races, that there was a little bit of, they created them and they allowed for some sort of evolutionary growth off of that. So it would be really neat to be able to map that out using magic.
Well, that sounds fascinating. And with the New World Order that's about to come on when
New World Order. Let me get inside my jacket. It's gonna be safer in here.
No, don't worry. It's gonna be a time of peace. It's gonna be a time of prosperity. There's gonna be a lot more.
It's not gonna require any violence to get to that.
It's going to be more peaceful at the end. I promise.
At the end, as long as I don't have to be involved in the run up to that.
There's absolutely no chance that you, a mere cadet, will be called into action at any point. I promise.
Okay, perfect.
But I'm just saying, there might be a lot more money for education. Who knows? Maybe you can go study that one day. I really
that would be awesome.
So. Yeah.
And even though Vallen jokes with me about it, I think that I really would enjoy being a professor. That I think that I have something to teach people. Maybe starting with him if he ever mellows.
You seem like a very wise and calming presence. I'm sure that there will be a place for you in the New World Order.
You keep using this phrase, and I don't think I've read a single textbook that has used that in a positive connotation.
Again, remember, we're not going to worry about this. This is your safe space.
This is my safe space. Okay. 2 nightlights. 2 nightlights. Okay.
You're good. Right. Well, okay. Thank you very much for coming. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I can genuinely say that you are the second most agreeable person that I spoke to today.
Oh, okay.
The
Who
first
was
one
the?
you will be encountering eventually. I promise he's very not corpse-like. Not corpse-like at all.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much for having me on, Allegra.
Thank you
This has
for
been a
coming.
pleasure. A
Uh,
lot less scary than I thought it would be.
I do hope that the audience thinks so too. Wow.
So do I need to go get someone and
Could
do I
you
just
could you
walk off the
actually get
stage
the
over here?
author?
Oh,
I would like to talk to him again. I
wait,
have some bones to pick with
what's
him.
this author concept? I mean, we
It's
have
like a
people that write
god.
novels in our world.
Yes, it's kind of like that, but think of him as
I mean, if
having.
someone's going to cause me misery, I think I don't normally have stern words with people, but I might want to have one or two with him.
Well, you might want to have one or two with him because I know what he has planned for you, and
It's
you
good,
don't need to know
right?
yet. Yeah, it's very good,
I,
Mateo. Nothing bad is going to happen to you at all.
do I get a girlfriend?
I can't answer that.
Oh, okay.
It's spoiler.
Mr. Author, this nice Allegra lady wants to talk to you. Please don't do anything mean to me.
Well,
there was a lot of noise coming from this room.
Yes, nothing happened at all. We've had 40 minutes of absolute quiet. And I do have a suggestion. Please be nice to Mateo because he's my favorite character, obviously. And also, could you make Sarkon president of the world? For me, it's a personal favorite.
Well, cinnamon rolls, they're very ooey, they're very gooey, they're very squishy. It's just nice to really get in there and twist. So I'll have to see on that Mateo one. It could be good for a lot of dramatic tension, a lot of tears, really tugging at those reader heartstrings. So we'll see on
important.
that. And Sarkon's definitely going to be president of the world. Might have a different title: Overlord for life, Supreme Khan of all peoples and principalities. He's still working on the title. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad because the world needs him. It's very important. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for coming to this very odd interview. Thank you for the amazing costumes and acting. Why don't you tell everyone where to find your book, what you're up to, and everything else? And by the way, if you are looking, all his links are also below. So click and buy in it. You will not regret it. This book is absolutely amazing. It kept me up till like 3 a.m. last night in a mad dash of reading until my eyes were red and puffy. So absolutely, please.
Don't want you to get red and puffy eyes. Then you would start to look like Sarkon, the corpse. He has red and puffy eyes.
This is the goal, Chris.
Oh, right. We all want to be like Sarkon.
We all want to be like Sarkon. So yes, tell us where we can find your book and how we can support you.
Thank you so much. Again, here's the cover, Divinity's Twilight Rebirth. This is book 1 in the Divinity's Twilight series. Book 2, Remnant, going to have a nice blue motif on the second cover. It's going to be out September 14th. Best place to find me is on my website. You see my name in StreamYard, ChristopherRussellAuthor.com. After that, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook, you can go to the Divinity's Twilight Fantasy Novels group. It's going to be a page. On Instagram, you can find me at Christopher_Russell_author. And then on Twitter, it's going to be Chris_DT_author. They're all very similar. I'd love for you to come out, talk about the books, ask me questions. Allegra's been a fantastic host today, allowing me to bring a whole slew of characters on. And these costumes, I had them around for conventions and other things that I do, but we were just able to throw those together. Next time, I might have a better wig for Celeste that isn't a laundry hamper, but it's even more hilarious because
I think the laundry hamper was absolutely perfect.
But if you like steampunk fantasy, epic fantasy, hard magic systems, all of those different things, Divinity's Twilight's going to be right up your alley.
And on my, note as a reader and as an author, I found that this book is absolutely fascinating. It's structured very, it has a really unique structure that makes the depth of the story and all the undertone and all of the foreshadowing so strong. And when it pays off, it is so explosive and so exciting. it is very much unlike anything I've ever read before, and I urge all of you to read this book and its sequel. I've gotten to beta read it, so I know what's coming, and I'm so excited for it. So everyone, get caught up by September 14th so you can be the first in line to buy the sequel, read it, and then please come and talk to me because I need to talk to people about it. So, Chris, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an
Thank you for having me, Allegra.
We'll see you all next time.